Hello and welcome to GreenBiz Studio here at GreenBiz 19 this year. My name is Shondine Cedar. I'm the Senior Account Executive at GreenBiz Group, and I'm here today with George Bandy, who is the Chief Sustainability Officer at Mohawk. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful to be here.
Great. As we head into 2019, you have your new title as Chief Sustainability Officer. What are you guys thinking about as we head into this new year?
I think it's exciting for us that as a business unit, we're looking at expanding our sustainability acumen across all the businesses. As most people know, we're an acquisition-based company, and we've acquired quite a few businesses from Dow, Tile, Pergo, a lot of great acquisitions. And I think that we're expanding that across all of those businesses to understand what sustainability is, both individually and collectively as an organization. It's important. I think the mantra that we've created around believing in better has caught on really well throughout our business, and everyone is really committing to doing that, from the plant employees and some of our suppliers all the way up to our senior leadership teams, in terms of embracing our vision for sustainability, and that's exciting for us.
We talked a little bit about your initiatives in bringing in young people and really focusing on how to leverage them not in new ways. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. I'm very proud to say I probably had the most diverse team in the company, and I'm challenging the rest of my cohorts to embrace that diversity and also that need for bringing in that young, vibrant talent. But what it allows us to be able to do is really connect in a lot of different ways across multiple elements of the organization and kind of really get a vibe for what's happening as it relates to the social connectivities and the university movements, as well as the corporate business strategies, and they connect in so many different ways. The leaders are getting younger in a lot of these organizations, and by doing so, in order for us to be able to compete and stay relevant inside of that workspace, we think that it's important to have that type of talent. So one of the things I take a lot of pride in is I ask my employees to bring their whole self to work. So sometimes I think that in the past, sustainability was focused on that whole measurement component. So they brought that technical acumen, that mathematical, statistical component to the table, and we need that. But I also think that we brought that environmental component. So the environmental, whether you're measuring the greenhouse gas emissions or looking at how much water and energy you reduce, they brought that to the table. But I think that social component was lost because we didn't have people bringing their entire heart to the workplace. And I think the social component of sustainability is what makes us most valuable in terms of how we look at what we do holistically as a business. And I think that that's going to be a trend coming in the future, that we really look at that social component of sustainability just as valuable as we look at the other two.
For other companies that are maybe in your space, peers, or just companies that are dealing with the same issues, what specifically is going to enable them to bring their whole self to the workplace?
Well, I think that specifically in our industry, that we've seen a lot of movement in the interiors industry in terms of being able to do that. But I think that the customer is really influencing that. I think that for us, we got to relate to the pets and the soccer moms just as well as we do the C-suite folks who are using our products inside of the workspace. So I think that the value that we're able to bring as we look at that touches so many people in so many different ways. And I think that also the balance of the growing population and the balance of economies of scale and looking at this global opportunity that we have, I think for us, we've started looking at handprints over footprints. And I think a lot of times people start asking questions, well, what does that mean? I think that we know what our footprint is when we get ready to manufacture something. So how do we create a handprint that actually goes out and offsets that, whether it's social, environmental, or economic, prior to actually manufacturing the product? And when you begin to do that, you're almost paying it forward. I think for so long we've waited to look at our footprint, but the social component gets left out. So people will go back and try to fix the environmental piece, and there's people who are advocating for that. People will go back and try to fix the financial piece because that makes sense for the business, but they never go back to fix the social piece. And if you take that into consideration from the beginning, your handprint is more outstretched. It gives you an opportunity to look at every aspect, and you take these things into consideration and you make value-based decisions based on that. And that's great for the business because they understand that your connectivity is a business strategy, not just one that's like a philanthropic type of giving type of philosophy.
We have one more minute. I just want to do one wrap-up question on the circular economy. That's something that we're focusing on a lot this year.
Absolutely.
What does that mean to Mohawk?
So on our residential side, most people don't know this, but we are the largest plastic bottle recycler in North America. We recycle plastic bottles, and our face fiber for most of our residential products is made from plastic bottles. And so our commitment to getting plastic bottles out of the ocean ways and using them for something that can be extended into the life of our product is significant. I think that one of the things that people have struggled with is that just because you bring a product in and you manufacture something, that product does not have to come back into that. And what you have to do is try to find other pathways, because there's other businesses that are sprouting up in this circular economy that we don't give a lot of credit for. So a lot of the products that was used in the early days for making product or flooring, when it comes back, it's probably something that now has phased into a place where people don't actually want that mixed into this new product because of the health and wellness commitments related on that. It's no different than when people talk about asbestos. You know, people get nervous when people say something about asbestos, but it was the only fire retardant that we had. It's not like somebody said, let's go make something that makes people unhealthy. It was a fire retardant designed to protect the building. When we finally made the connection that the health of the people were being compromised because of that, then people began to have to take it out. So I think that some of the products that were used early on, they were designed for performance, and there was no consideration into how it was impacting people's health. And so now that we know better, we have to do things in a better way. But those products that are coming back still need to have a circular economy mechanism for staying in the technical loop, so to speak. And those things are being turned into lots of different things. They're using them in some of the tars for the roadways because of their viscosity. They're using them in fan shrouds and things like that in terms of automotive industry. Some of the airplane industry is using them to lighten their planes and use those types of products. So there's lots of different uses. We just have to make sure that we keep them out of the uses that impact people's health and put them into uses that actually add value to our economic growth. So.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I look forward to continuing the conversation throughout the year. And George, thank you for being with us, and thank you all for joining us on Green Biz Studio.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.